Oh, everyone, I'm happy to be here. I um I really look forward to this time. So, I want you to know that I love you. I'm thankful that you're with me and that you're part of my tribe, right? Thank you for being in my world. I don't take it for granted. So, let's start with a question, right? Who feels or are aware that they have blocks, maybe rocks, maybe boulders in your life that hold you back from having, more positive experiences or having a more abundant life, having love? Are you aware that you have a block? So just write the word below, like if you feel like it's a boulder or you feel that like you just have a block, write the word below. Boulder or block, both work for me. Yeah. And I will take note. Yep. Yeah, right? We all do. We all have that. Or I don't think you'd be here with me, right? I don't, I know that I have my own. I'm going to share some of that. But we do. We have these things that hold us back. And because the truth is, we all have a history deep within us. There is no denying this fact that our stories from early childhood, the adventures that were both good and negative, okay, with our families, and our life experiences with other people that contribute to our unique challenge as adults. So it's pretty much our experiences with the world around us, whether that be on our own, okay, or in the environment or our surroundings. And each and every day, we we on a subconscious level live out this history, all while trying to craft a new story, while we're trying to design a new one. We don't have to be aware of it, okay? For some of us, there are, but I'm going to help, okay? For some of us, there's a physical block of energy, okay? And so, does anyone, just answer below, feel like exhausted right now? Like there isn't enough energy to take action in the day, putting one foot in front of the other. Um, you might just be physically tired. Anybody feel physically tired? Just let me know. Okay. And because the font is small, here we go. Hi, Ramon. Boulders and blocks. Yep, yep. But is anyone physically exhausted? Tell me that. I know that I have something to work through if I'm physically exhausted. Now, I'm not talking about illness, okay? I'm not talking that there might be a medical thing. I'm talking about just the exhaustion of life. Yeah, right? I know. Mm-hmm. Raylene, hello, beautiful. Yeah. Okay, that helps me. And then the other one is, and tell me below, that this block on the physical level, okay, can feel like if you're not sure what I'm talking about, here's an example. It can feel like we take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, okay? It can feel like we're physically exhausted. We can't go do anything. We don't want to exercise, right? We don't want to do anything. It can be a feeling that we are on a never ending hamster wheel. It's very real, okay? And these types of blocks, um, they impact our lives. We can also feel spiritually blocked. That will show up as, maybe put spiritually down there if you feel spiritually blocked. It'll cause us to feel like we can't trust our decisions. We might even have a bit of a grudge that we feel like, grudge might be the wrong word, but we might feel like we've been let down or betrayed by God, by the universe. Okay? And we also might not feel like we are connected to our higher self. So those are two quick ways, right? We can be physically exhausted and spiritually feel blocked. So we can feel in both ways. Okay. But what I know is these patterns seem to follow us, and they are long forgotten stories and experiences. So it's a bit of a graphic example, okay? But they follow us like a little nagging scab, a little sore that doesn't heal, right? It just begins to heal, and then something inadvertently happens, like we knock the scab off by hitting something or putting on our clothes, right? But we can actually self-sabotage our healing when we begin to move forward. It's like we shut down. We have sabotaging patterns, a whole nother conversation. But our self-sabotaging, whether we're conscious or aware of it, will also prevent this scab from healing. So what happens is it constantly gets pulled off. And it's because somewhere in your history, that block may have been set in stone in your mind by a seemingly innocent event. And now it feels like no matter what, you can't get it out of your way. You can't get the boulder out of your way. You can't step into your expansion, okay? Or experience movement forward because of this boulder. Now, subconsciously, right? You're either carrying the boulder on your shoulders, okay? And it's heavy. And you're aware of this weighted energy, okay? Or you are subconsciously trying to move the boulder because you know something's blocking you, right? So you can step into your future self, right? So, does anyone want to know how this happens? It's kind of a no-brainer question, but I am aware, okay, that really what you want to know is, and it's more important, is how you can release this energetic boulder. How you can dissolve it. How, if you know you're carrying it, you can drop it to the wayside and get rid of it, okay? It comes down to embracing the process of deep releasing. That comes from energetic healing, but maybe you're not in a position to hire a healer. But it can also take place, all right, by incorporating a few tools into your life. Something that I love teaching my clients. And I have been honored over the years to share these types of tools when I speak. And I want to share them with you, as I have been, okay? Because there is an inner process to it all, a path that I want to teach you. But first, just a little first, heads up. I want to make sure you have a deeper understanding of how the boulders arrive early in your life without you even knowing that they've been created. For it is through the awakening eyes of self-revelation. It's the revelation of the self that you are able to take the first step to healing your history. Now, on my blog, I share an example of a friend, okay? But tonight, I'm going to share my own examples and that of a client, okay? Now, my story is a bit dramatic here, so just heads up. And I go into more detail in my book. And my book is titled Mistakes into Money. And the reason that I titled it that was because oftentimes, like we're going to learn here, we get tripped up in our stuff and we think we aren't worthy of more. All right? But I go into more detail with it there. You probably don't even know I have a book. If you're curious, ask me below. I'll stick the link in when I'm done. But this is a perfect example of how I literally forgot about this event. I forgot all about it. I forgot about the experience that impacted my life, just like you have. Not always, but often, okay? Those subconscious memories are very much alive in your energy system, and they impact you on a daily basis. So, My story happened at age 8. And it was a forgotten memory. It happened at age 8 on a family vacation to the Grand Canyon. Okay? And I forgot about it until I taught myself this method. So here we are. The family's at the Grand Canyon. I'm 8 years old, and I'm not a very happy child. Okay? In fact, I had decided I didn't want to be on Earth anymore. I had decided that it's not what I signed up for. And I want to preface this, okay? I have good parents. It's how I was experiencing and how my life, based on their life experiences. Follow me? Okay. So there's no blame here. I'm just sharing a story of how I felt at age 8. So I had created this story within myself, and I'll tell you how it played out. At the time when I was young, there were no guardrails on the sides of the Grand Canyon. Now, as a little girl, it looks like everything just drops off. It's a windy day. I had woke up, I had decided today was the day. And we are all spread out on like different rocks, okay, that kind of lifted up over the edge. So you could see down, all right? And I go through this whole process in my brain. Well, if I jump off there, okay, then my parents might be sad, but they're going to blame me for doing something stupid. So I had created this whole story how I was going to make this happen, and it was okay for me. And I was going home. That's how I literally felt. I want to go home, okay, to the other side. Now, the universe had something much different for me. And so what happened was I stood up and I started to take off towards this edge. Now, there's a beautiful experience that happened in this. And I obviously did not do that. But what I want to share is even though I had a beautiful experience that told me it wasn't my time, I remember to this day now, my family stood up because it was time to leave. As I began to walk away, I literally began crying because I felt that I had failed. The beautiful experience didn't lodge. You see, I had been raised that I do things wrong, right? That I wasn't living up to the expectation. And so as I walked away, what literally got trapped in my knees, okay, is self-judgment and the fear that I was going to fail no matter what I did. So then as an adult, it was showing up in, I had to ask everybody's permission before I could do something, right? Like I said, it's a bit of a dramatic story. But I promise you, you each have stories that there's no judgment on whether it's little or big. It still lodges. And it's how the subconscious takes it in that we care about. So, it really impacted my life, right? A lot. Now, I didn't know about this until I started creating the method that I'm going to teach you. But let me go a little bit further. Maybe you can relate to my next example. I was told as a child that children are never to speak unless they're being spoken to first. And it must be a direct conversation, like asking me a question. I could not chime into the conversation unless my name was called and I was addressed. Okay, that's some really old-fashioned manners, and I see the wisdom in that, but that's not how that rule did not lodge within me that way. It lodged within me as a true belief that I don't have the right to speak up. My opinion didn't matter. It didn't matter at all. And so I ask you, does anyone relate with the feeling of not being able to speak? Okay, maybe you don't feel safe speaking up. Maybe you're afraid of judgment if you speak up. Maybe speaking up causes you to feel bullied because somebody wants to call you out on something? Share with me below. I'll put my glasses on. Okay? Anybody have a fear of speaking up? Or were you told something? You know what? I'll put the link in there. I'll put it in. Thank you, Elena. Anybody have a fear? Is it just Lisa that has a fear of speaking up? See, there's this delay, everybody, with Facebook, and so I don't really see it fast off. I know somebody's going to have a fear of speaking up, and I know somebody else is going to be afraid of being judged by your words. Okay? Absolutely, definitely, right? And it just causes us to be, and as a child, Christina, you felt like nobody cared. Absolutely. Yeah, right? And you're still fearful. Well, I'm going to give you a tool here, okay? But I want to keep going a little bit, okay? Thank you for sharing, okay? I became aware of a similar thing happening to a client of mine as I was releasing some inherited patterns. I found a trauma at age 14. Now, she instantly remembered what this trauma was, and I want to share it with you, okay? She was sharing the back seat of the family car with a teacher from school as the family was headed to an event together. The teacher, who she really admired, okay, engaged in a conversation with her and asked her the question, "What do you like to do when you aren't at school?" She replied that she liked to sing. He responded that he also loved to sing and would be honored if she would sing something for him, something that she loved to sing. She proceeds to sing a childhood favorite. After a minute, her father, who was driving, reached back with his arm, slaps her on her knee. You know, the seats were low, okay? And says, "Stop." Very sternly, very directly. The teacher spoke up immediately and tried to come to her rescue by replying, "Henry, please let her continue. Doesn't she have a lovely voice?" Yeah. The father replied, "She's tone deaf, she knows it, and she's always off tune. No more singing while we are in the car." She shut up. It shut her up. She had been shamed. She had been embarrassed. She had been humiliated, okay? Do you think she ever sang again? No. Not in the car, not even in the shower. So you might ask, how does this show up in her life? Big time, by the way. She doesn't believe she's good at anything. She thought she was a good singer, see? And what she thought she was told wasn't true. So now she has no trust in who she is. She doesn't have any trust in her own ideas about her identity or her abilities. And she is scared to death of being embarrassed, of being wrong. This experience also caused her to compare herself to everyone else who looks like they have their life together. Everyone else that's happy or appears, that's the operative word there, to be successful. Successful in a happy relationship, right? Successful in the work they do. It's what appears to be that way. And I say that because there's never 100% truth in that, okay? But she's looking at herself as never being full because she doesn't possess what she seems to see in other people. Now, these are just a few examples of how the absorbed experiences in our life limit us. They limit our belief. Yeah, right? And they create these boulders that enter life even at a very young age. These become a burden. that negatively impact you throughout your life history, whether you're aware of them or not. This burden, whether it's a burden you carry on your shoulder, is unnecessary, and it can be healed and released. But in order to do that, there is a key step. And that first step is awareness and recognition. I'm going to spell it all out. If you have some paper, grab it, okay? Because I guarantee this will be the beginning process of healing and liberating your heart, okay? It'll liberate your body. It will liberate your spirit, and it will allow you to up-level your life. We need to be raising our vibration individually before we can ever step into our future. Okay, so you ready? I'm excited. I am. So number one, you're going to give yourself the gift of silence, the gift of silent time for 10 to 20 minutes of self-reflection. Now, I know if it might be hard to take 20 minutes. That's why I said 10. I actually am okay with 5, okay? But it has to be purposeful, all right? And you'll get better with it as you go, okay? So, allow yourself to revisit your childhood memories. Search through them and find the one that comes to you first. It'll be the one that comes to you first. Like, don't have a judgment of whether it's the most important one, because you see there's layers in your life. It's not going to be the one and only. Okay? It won't. So you're going to take the one that first surfaces to your mind, that you know impacted you negatively. Okay? When you find it, I want you to feel it, see it, okay? You're going to embrace this. You're going to accept it. It's simply from the past. It does not own you now. This deep awareness allows you to accept the previous reality of what happened with no judgment, shame, or even guilt. Life simply happened, okay? Now, you might be saying, what about those that I don't remember? Like, I didn't remember my 8-year-old Grand Canyon experience, okay? If after you have sat in silence and there is nothing coming to your mind, I want to give you some verbiage to ask yourself out loud. You're asking your higher self. If you believe in guardian angels, you're asking them, okay? Speak it out loud. This is important, okay? Here we go. Here's the question. What forgotten memory from my childhood is creating the boulder, preventing me from moving forward? I'll repeat it, okay? All right. What forgotten memory from my childhood is creating the boulder that's preventing me from moving forward? Everyone have it? I got to find my glasses. Hold on. Put them on the other side. Ah, Elena, you feel like it's a good example. Okay. You're afraid of judgment, Ramon. Exactly, right? Exactly. Hi, Rob. I love you. Okay, here we go. All right. Everybody got that? I can come back and put that in the chat box, okay, if somebody doesn't have it. All right? Don't worry. I won't leave you hanging on it, okay? I'm going to repeat it one more time, okay? What forgotten memory from my childhood is creating the boulder preventing me from moving forward? You see, you have to ask the question out loud to bring in, like, you're activating the awareness in your subconscious mind that you're looking for an answer, okay? Everyone has something in their childhood or their teenage years, okay? This is the first step to the rest, okay? Now, my suggestion is for that, if you're going to ask the question or just for an awareness, grab your journal, okay? For the next step, and write the question down, and then maybe you just take note of, it happened at 14 or it happened at 18 or whatever it is, and maybe a word that reminds you. I do not want you to do the next part in your journal, okay? Next, when the memory surfaces, this is part 2, you are going to write it down on paper. Do not write the experience down in your journal. This should be written on a separate piece of paper. Got it? It's important, okay? So you're going to grab yourself a notebook, piece of notebook paper or typing paper or copy paper, right? Take out a pen and simply write down the old absorbed story, the experience, the belief. Okay? You don't have to know how the subconscious trapped it, by the way. Just write the experience down that's creating the block. Got it? After you've done this, start a new paragraph on the same piece of paper. If it's a super long story, get another piece of paper. Next, write out that you're grateful, okay, that it's been with you because it brought you here to this moment. It challenged you to grow. I get that, okay? And it has given you wisdom at the same time. If we can acknowledge what we learned in any way, okay, it allows the shift to go deeper. I promise you, there is wisdom in this. I promise, okay? No matter what it is. Even if it's that you can help understand other people, okay? All right. So now you're actually going to write out that you're grateful that it's been brought to your awareness. You're grateful that it happened and you gained some wisdom in it. Okay? New paragraph. You with me? Okay. Next, you are going to write out that you're done carrying that limiting energy in your life. Key point here. There's no anger to this. Anger can motivate us in our life. It's another subject. But, okay, this is not being done in anger. This whole experience, no matter what caused it, who caused it, it's done in love. It's done in self-acceptance. It's done in the acceptance that it's not going to stay, okay? So, you're going to let this negative experience, negative energy, know that in love and gratitude, it's time to leave. So you're going to wish it fond farewell, blow it a kiss, right? As this belief no longer serves you. One more thing. Okay? It's close. Lastly, you are going to take the paper, you're going to scrunch it up, wad it up, and you're going to literally put it in the trash can. I want it to go in the trash can, both symbolically and literally. I want it to go out with the trash. You can walk it out to the garbage can. I don't care. If you are concerned in any way, put it in a bag and drop it in the garbage can, okay? Or let it go out with the regular trash in the house. Doesn't matter to me, okay? It simply was part of your history for a time, no more. Okay, you are now going to be embracing your new future. All right. The reason I want you to put it in the trash, there's other ways you can do this. This one for this particular exercise is very important that it goes into the garbage because see, it's a garbage belief. It's a limiting belief. And there's something very, very impactful when the subconscious has an action that it's taking. Okay? Wad it up, scrunch it up, and throw it in the trash. Okay? So here we go. Just 2 steps. The second one's a little longer than the first one. First one is you're going to become mindfully reflective. When we put our head in the sand and we don't want to look at things from the past because we're afraid of feeling, we're afraid of the emotion, we're afraid of what might come up, your future can't change. And I don't believe you'd be here if you want to stay in the past, whether you're aware of it or not, right? Okay. And then number 2, you are going to write it down, and you are going to symbolically and literally let it go and let it release. It's pretty cool, and it's very impactful. And it has helped me a lot in my life. All right? Now, is it doable for you to do this? Am I giving you a sense of hope? I want you to feel hopeful. I want you to feel that even in the world around us and everything going on, that you do have some control. But you have to become mindfully aware, and you have to take action. Okay? I want you to feel hopeful about your future. I believe in you, and I believe that you can change, and it's absolutely a beautiful experience to let go. Discard it, and then really just take a step and step into who you really are. I want you to embrace who you really are. I'm sending you lots of love. Ask below if you have a question, okay? And I'll stay on here, and I'll answer some questions if you have any, okay? Okay, here, Christina, I would say, you're close. What's my forgotten memory from my childhood that's creating the boulder? Yeah, that's creating the boulder, preventing me from moving forward. It's close enough. Okay, absolutely. Mandy, I'm confused about the 0, dear. Am I missing part of it? Or maybe that's a really creative way of saying, oh. I like that. All right. Mindfully aware, inspired by your words and exercise, motivating. That makes me happy to read. But now I want you to let me know that you've done it. Okay? So you have a whole week, everybody. And in that week, you don't have to let go of 10 things unless you're motivated to do that. But if you could embrace a memory from the past, take action in writing it down, give gratitude to it, and tell it that it's time to go. Then take action by throwing it away. I promise you, you will feel lighter. Okay? You notice how I really want you to feel better in life. My life purpose is to bring awareness, look, I get emotional, and to help you transform. I know you can do it, and I know it will help change your life. All right. Sending you off in lots and lots of love. Thank you for your time. You're absolutely welcome. Absolutely welcome. All right, everyone. I'll create a post with it. Okay. And thank you for being here. Yeah. Thank you. Love you.